What is going on, YouTube? This is Rob A again, and I'm continuing my Transformers Prime collection videos. This one is actually a request video. I was requested to do Deluxe Soundwave by my subscriber. The Clerk Says, I hope I'm saying that name right. That's certainly how it looks like it's pronounced, but yeah, so the Clerk Says this one is for you. So today we've got Deluxe Soundwave from the Transformers Robots in Disguise Prime toy line. And as you can see, he is a drone, an unmanned drone. And I believe these are used pretty much solely for the, well, maybe they are used for combat. I think they can carry weapons or bombs or something like that. But I think for the most part they're used for reconnaissance sort of missions and intelligence gathering missions. But as you can see, he's very cool, very sleek looking. There's really not a lot of robotness underneath. It's very tight. But I mean, Soundwave is a pretty sleek robot. But once you actually look underneath it, you can kind of see there's a bunch of tech going on there that doesn't really scream aerodynamic. But it's certainly not bad, not distracting at all. Yeah, there's not a whole heck of a lot to say about this mode. He's got a very nice wingspan. As you can see, it's very wide for Deluxe. It's wider than my hand is, the length of my hand. And you can even make it wider if you so desire, because you can, the way he transforms, you can just take his hands and kind of pull them out to the sides here, and then you can have a redonkulously wide wingspan. And I believe that's probably about the length of my, yeah, that's from my wrist to my elbow here. That's really wide. But for the purposes of the review, we will stay vanilla with this guy. But yeah, he's got what looks like a 5mm port here, and I'm going to test that theory really quickly. I believe this is a 5mm port on his back, and it is indeed. It's a little difficult to get something in there because the slope of the, I guess I can't really call it a cockpit, but the front end of the drone. But you can stick something there. You could stick an arms micron on there, and I'm sure you would, because microns are fun. Yeah. But he's got a lot of nice detailing. He's got some, yeah. he's got a lot of little pink bits on here. Pinky pink bits. He does have a little itty bitty landing gear in the front, but nothing in the back. He's just got kind of these two little spikes kind of sticking out that you can kind of rest him on. But yeah, not really landing gear per se. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this guy. I guess you could get crazy and say he's got like an opening mouth. It's really not meant for that, but just due to the transformation, you can have that work in that way. Yeah, so let's get to transforming this guy and see what Soundwave is all about in robot form. I totally forgot. Before I transform him, we'll take a quick comparison look, and you can see that he is super wide, but also super skinny, which seems to be a contradiction, but in this case it's not. The main body is very skinny compared to a regular Deluxe, but as you can see, he's quite a bit longer and much wider. Yeah, so I use the Viacon because, like I said before in another video, I always have one on hand. because I love this toy, and also because he's kind of in the, like, smack in the middle. He's a very average size for current deluxes. So we'll just get him out of the way, and we will move back on to the transformation. Alright, now transforming this guy is pretty easy. First thing we want to do is we're going to just detach the wings from the main body and just kind of pull those back here. And what we're actually going to do is pull them all the way up, and they will click into place, kind of just snap in there. Now we want to take the front end of the drone and just split it down the center here. And these are going to become the legs, as I'm sure you've gathered by this point. He does have little knee pads that can kind of wiggle around here. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to move this piece back and kind of give him a chicken leg stance here. But it's very slight. You barely even notice it. And by the time everything's said and done, it really doesn't even end up looking like chicken legs. But so we're going to take, here's his feet, and we just want to pull these right down. The front end of the plane is going to come up and kind of just sit on the back of the leg like that. And then the bottom half, the lower jaw, I guess, as it was before, is going to be the heel. So we can just put that down to keep things stable. And we're just going to do the same on the other leg. Just flip this up, put that into place, and put the leg down, make sure the landing gear is out of the way, and just kind of move this up and back. And those are his legs, pretty much. We'll just stand him up here. I don't know if you can tell already, but he is very, very thin and very lithe. Just like he is in the show. And I really think that they did a very good job on this figure, and you know, we'll show that off some more in a minute. But so we have the wings. We're just gonna detach them right from this point, and then actually we can just kind of take this whole piece here. We do detach it from here, but first we want to just take this and pull it up and forward. And these are going to become the arms, as I'm sure you have deduced. And we'll just pull those down. These, as I said before, detach and then kind of come down as the forearms. And then, like we saw already, we're going to take these front pieces and pull them out. And then take the front and pull them out. And now here's something to note. The transformation to get his head out is that you just pull this back, and his head is right in there, and it pops up, and then you just pop that in like so. However, it was really the way that this normally transforms is that this piece kind of I turned this around, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Like, so it's originally this way, and you turn it around like that, and then it kind of locks his head down in this sort of kind of sunken position. But if you take this out and turn it around like so, I find that it gives a little more leeway, so his head can actually get a little higher. I know in the show his head is down farther, but you can actually, you know, you can make that decision on your own. It doesn't have to be locked down there. You can kind of wiggle it around if you so choose and have his head a little higher up. But for now, we'll just leave it kind of like that. And you just stand them up here. And here we have Soundwave in robot mode. And he's very, very cool. He's not the most... I guess he's not the most playable toy, I guess I'll say. He feels very spindly. He doesn't necessarily feel fragile. I don't want to give that impression. But there are just some figures that you don't feel as compelled to pick up and handle. And he's definitely one of those figures. You don't really... Yeah, you don't really feel like picking him up and just messing with him. But he's really good to kind of just be looking menacing on a shelf. Definitely looks good with your other Prime Decepticons. So, yeah, let's see. Let's take a quick comparison look here. We have our standby Viacon. For starters, as you can see, Soundwave's a little short, which is kind of disappointing because he's not super big in the show, but he's tall. He's tall and lanky, and I don't know if it's just the angle that they constantly put him at, but he seems like he should be bigger than this at least. We'll get another comparison in here with Robots in Disguise RC. And as you can see, RC is about the same size and actually looks a little bulkier. Just the way her armor panels and her legs are so kind of thick. But all in all, he's a very nice representation of the character model. So I don't want to downplay that. As for accessories, he doesn't really come with any weapons. The only accessory that he comes with is right here in his chest, and we'll get a quick look at his face, which as you can see is just painted not even black, but like a really dark kind of eggplant purple. But in his chest he has Laserbeak. So once you pop Laserbeak out, you can see he's just got this little notches in his chest that almost look like a representation of the kind of the tape, the tapes for Soundwave, but it also kind of looks like a face. But anyway, so we'll put Soundwave there. We'll take a quick look at Laserbeak. So yeah, here's Laserbeak. You just flip the wings up and he looks kind of like something, I guess. And here's the weird thing, is that I'm not even sure which end is supposed to be the front. I think in the show this is the front end of Laserbeak here, if I can actually get this to focus on this guy. Yeah, I guess this is supposed to be the front end and that's the tail, but I usually just fly it around like this because it looks more like, I guess he's got kind of a laser gun for a head, and I don't know, but he's got a little post here that you can use to stick him on Soundwave's arm. So you can get that going, and that's pretty cool. And let's see, articulation for Soundwave. I guess I skipped over that, but we'll do that pretty quick. He can turn his arms around a full 360. He does have a little bit of movement here, just due to transformation. He's got a ball joint up at, I guess this would be a bicep ball joint / swivel. So he's got a good motion there. He does bend at the mid forearm, as well as an elbow joint. His head is on a ball joint, and if you do that, if you do the super easy fix there in the back, he does get quite a bit of motion range out of his head. Not that he really utilizes any of that in the show, but He does actually have a waist swivel, which is very nice. Hips are ball jointed. He has a thigh swivel. He's got a slight tiny bit of motion there. His knees do bend. He has limited but movable knees, and it's weird because it's a double hinge, but it's still very limited in both directions. And that's just kind of strange to me. But he does kind of have knees. His toes do move, and the heel also has a little movement, but the heel is very loose, so don't expect it to hold any super back heavy poses. But that's pretty much Soundwave in a nutshell. I hope that this satisfied whatever you wanted to see, the clerk says, and if there's anything that I left out that you wanted to see that I missed, please don't hesitate to let me know, and I'll try and put an addendum on this thing. But Soundwave is it's a pretty simplistic figure. I mean, he looks complicated just because the detailing on him is very nice. He looks certainly more complicated than the actual transformation is. Here's another quick comparison with Prime, and as you can see, he's quite small compared to Prime. But all in all, he's a really nice deluxe. I mean, especially as far as the sculpt and the just the look of the figure. He definitely holds the appearance of the show model. I think that's just about spot on. However, I would really like to see this guy in a Voyager size class. I think he really his involvement in the show, like he's not a main character, but they kind of build him up so much in the show, like he's kind of a super bad guy. Like nobody wants to mess with him. They're all kind of afraid of him. Even Megatron respects him. For that, I think he deserves at least a little bit of a bigger figure. But until then, there's been no announcement that he's getting a Voyager figure, and now with the new season coming out, if they do have a Voyager of this guy, who knows what it'll look like. It may have like crazy spikes and stuff like that on him. So if you're looking for this character, like this version of this character, this deluxe is the only way to go, and you won't be poorly off for it. I think it's a very worthwhile figure. It's a worthwhile buy, and especially now around Christmas time, you can hopefully find him for on sale for less than $15. $15 is a little bit much, but for this figure, I mean, he's got decent paint apps. He's got a cool accessory with Laserbeak, even though he doesn't have any actual weapons. He is small, but I guess he makes up for it because he's very wide and long in vehicle mode. But the look is what you want, and the look he definitely has. So I do recommend this guy. If there were a Voyager out of this guy, as long as it's not terrible, I would say probably to go for that instead. But since there is not, you definitely won't go wrong with this dude. So thank you guys for watching, as always, and hopefully I'll be able to get at least 1 or 2 more videos made tonight, and hopefully get those uploaded. And I'll see you guys then. Please comment, like, if you liked this video, if you found it helpful, and definitely subscribe so you know when I'm releasing more videos down the way, and it definitely helps me out. So the clerk says, I hope that satisfied your craving, and thank you so much for subscribing, and thank you so much for watching, and thanks to all my other subscribers, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.